Hey guys, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel. Today I've been watching Paranormal Witness all day, so I thought that I would make another entry segment thing of ghostly experiences with Kat, so that is what we are going to do tonight. So without further ado, let's get into it with experience number 1. And this was actually a little bit before Christmas Eve. It was in a house that I lived in previously with my parents and my sister. And I was in my room and I was standing in the middle of my room for some reason. I can't remember if it was because I was cleaning or if it was because I was dancing around or doing something stupid, which is more than likely. And I was trying to find music on my iPod. It was around 4 o'clock in the morning, so everybody was asleep. And I'm one of those people that can sense when everybody in the house is sleeping or is gone. I can tell when it's just me. I don't know if that makes me weird or crazy or just, I don't know, but it was late at night, I was the only one awake, and it was completely silent in my room because I was listening for music, and I got a creeped feeling because I'm not a big fan of quiet places. I don't like the silence, so I started to get creeped out, but I figured it was just the silence, so, whatever. So I was standing there, finally found a song, pressed play, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, okay, you're just seeing things, or it's your hair, because it's happened to me. My hair has popped in the corner of my eye, and it's made me jump. I'm not gonna lie. But it kept happening, and it stayed there. It didn't leave. So I decided to look and concentrate on it, and I realized it looked like something was peeking out of the corner of my doorway and staring at me. Like, it looked like it grabbed the wall and then pulled itself forward and peeked and looked at me. And it was still there. And when I actually looked instead of out of the corner of my eye, it was gone. It was completely gone when I took full vision and concentration. It was gone completely, so I decided to look away and look in the corner of my eye again, and it wasn't there anymore. And I remember it scared me so bad that I backed up. I ended up dropping my iPod, which made me lose my earphones, and they got ripped out of my ears, and I sat down on my bed and I stared at that point of my room for maybe 15 minutes because it scared me so bad. I felt a jolt on my skin, like you literally, the saying, you jumped out of your skin. That's exactly what I felt. And I remember stuff had happened in my room before, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It never scared me enough to make me want to leave, but this time was the very first time where I felt like I had to leave my room, where I felt like I was so scared that I couldn't be in there, that it was not safe, I shouldn't be in there. So I ended up going downstairs to my sister's room, and I told her what happened, and she got creeped out. And so I stayed with her until the sun came up, and then once the sun came up, I finally went up there. I looked around, and it was so creepy. And I can remember just, this thing had no features, it had no face. It looked like just this black thing staring at me from the corner of my room, and it didn't have any legs or anything. And now, to this day, if I'm in my room, just like now, like right now, the TV is on, the ceiling light is on, and my lamp is on. So I can't be in a room without a bunch of light, because that night my light was dim. So ever since then, I can't do it. And I don't even know how to explain what it was, because there was no way that it was a piece of my hair that popped out or something. There was no way it was just a shadow, because the way that I was standing, there was no way it could have been my shadow, and everybody was asleep in my house, so it had to have been something else. And I remember it scared the shit out of me, and I've never gasped like that in my entire life. And I have gasped like that in my life, but not when something paranormal happens. It's never made me gasp and fear for where I'm at. It's never made me fear, like, if I'm in this room any longer, something's going to happen. It's never made me fear that way. And so that was the very first time in my life where I've actually felt like I was not safe or in the right place. And so it was terrifying. My second experience was when I was in junior high. I went to a junior high school where it was well known for it being very haunted. My grandpa actually went there when he was when it was first built. And he said that he's had experiences too. In my school, there are stories of kids dying, of kids being locked in there through the years and stuff like that. So, it's not really that surprising that I had this experience, but I remember I was in, I think it was Footloose, the musical, and my drama teacher asked me to go to her classroom to get some props for the extras so they could have costumes. And so I left the classroom, and I left the auditorium and went to the classroom. And the hallways were completely dark because the school was closed at the time because we were in rehearsal. It was at night, and so the lights were off. So I walked through, and normally people are scared to do that, but I wasn't. And I walked through the dark, went to her classroom, and conveniently her classroom was like on the other side of the building. So, of course, and I was walking, and nothing happened to me while I was walking there. I did get that classic feeling of when you're in the dark, but you can feel like you're surrounded by people, but nobody's there. I did get that, but it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. And then when I'm walking back, I closed the classroom door, and I heard this quiet giggle, almost like, it wasn't like if somebody my age or an adult, it was like a small child, like a little girl giggle. But I paid no mind to it because I thought, maybe I'm hearing weird echoes, maybe somebody's laughing really loud at the auditorium. But then I realized that the auditorium was at the other side of the building, so there's no way I could be hearing this. So I kind of copped it up to, you're in the dark, you're creeped out, whatever. So I started walking more, and I got out of the art pod, because they were called pods. I got out of the pod, and I kept hearing it, but it sounded like it was following me and getting closer. I kept hearing this giggle over and over again, and it kept sounding like it was getting closer. So I actually started to get kind of creeped out, and kind of like, okay, well, I know you're there. I can hear you giggling. I know you're there. Okay, you know I'm here. I'm acknowledging you. I'm glad you're happy. Stuff like that. But then the point that really scared me was right when I was about to open the auditorium door. I felt this tug at my jacket and an audible giggle right next to me, and it made me drop the box of extra costumes, because it scared me so bad, and it made me jump so bad because I could feel a serious, it was like this part of my arm, and I could feel my jacket like this, but almost like a kid or a child pulled on it. And I went in the auditorium and I told them what just happened, and then everybody was like, okay, well, I don't want to go out there anymore, we should stay in here for a while and stuff like that. And I remember hearing stories about a little girl who fell off the catwalk that was above the auditorium stage, when it was I don't know if it's a true story, but it was a teacher brought her child, or a little girl or a kid that went to school at the time, went up in that catwalk without permission, fell out, and when she hit the stage she died. I don't know, but I can remember the feeling of that part of my body kind of going cold, and out of fear, and probably because I was touched by something. And I just remember, part of me wishes I saw it, I was looking down and I saw my jacket get pulled to see if it actually happened. But I can remember the giggle as if it was right next to me, and there was nobody there in the hallway. I was the only one in the hallway at the time. So, and I kept having kind of experiences like that when I was in the hallway by myself. I'd hear giggling, or I'd hear walking or running. I had heard, people had told me that they've experienced that kind of thing too, with hearing stuff like that. So it's nice to know I'm not the only one, because I'm crazy, but it's nice to know that I'm not that crazy. But I remember just that was just one of the most incredible experiences, because I think there's a difference between incredible and scary, terrifying, creepy, and feeling unsafe. And that was an incredible experience. I didn't feel threatened or anything, but it was creepy in the sense that this was something that I couldn't see, but I could hear. Sorry, somebody walked in when I was doing my second story, so I got cut off, but yeah. But yes, those are two of my ghostly experiences that I have had in my life, and as I said before, I have many, many more. So if you would like to hear more of them, please give me a thumbs up, and I will be more than happy to tell you more of my stories and possibly have guests and other people tell me their stories and have them share them with you as well. Also, share with your family and your friends, and subscribe, please. I would completely adore you and love if you subscribed, because I'm a fun person and we could, have fun together. And I make videos every Wednesday and Friday, and occasionally in between those days. So yeah, and yeah, that's about it. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night. And this is Kat signing off.